Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. This is Pillar to Post, a podcast that emulates both from Blog Talk Radio and WrestlingRevolution.com. I am your host, Block, and I've been told my normal co-host, Bobby Black, will not be on, but I found another co-host. He has more charisma than DH, and he's taller than Zamario. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jericho-holic.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Jericho-holic, and I am with the Block here for Pillar to Post. I honestly can't say that I'll do better than Bobby Black, but I think I'll take his status as the ultimate fill-in as of now.
Yes, it's all good. Of course, during the show, you can call in and change the topic as long as it's pro wrestling related, or just ask us a general question or whatnot. If you're too shy to call in, you can always tweet us at Wrestling Revolt. But if you want to call in, you can call in at 347-237-5088. Okay, since you're the co-host and you're a little new to this show, what did you want to bring up or talk about?
I actually have not been up with Raw the past, I'd say like couple weeks. I've heard that CM Punk has been aligning with Heyman, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true. At the end of Monday Night Raw, he was caught in the same vehicle as Paul Heyman. After giving John Cena a beating, he got in the same car with Paul Heyman and they drove off. So are we seeing a possible stable or alignment or whatnot? Who knows?
I think if we are seeing an alignment or a stable or whatever we want to call it these days, that it would be a good thing. We haven't really seen a good stable that lasted for a while, meaning why I'm not picking the Nexus, since the Main Event Mafia in TNA was probably the last halfway decent stable that I can think of. But I think Heyman and CM Punk will be good. Hopefully it can bring us what the Alliance did not.
Yes, hopefully a semi-coherent, decent storyline that they don't suddenly close off. Plus, this is a nice little boost for CM Punk, because apparently a lot of people on the interwebs was saying he was getting stale and becoming Cena-like, which I argue he never was becoming Cena-like. That's just how they book their champs, usually always winning. But there's definitely a difference between CM Punk, even at his worst, and John Cena at his best, as far as quality and enjoyment of matches and interviews. I don't think they're on par, ever.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. CM Punk, I wouldn't say likes the business more. I wouldn't say that because I think Cena enjoys his job. I think that he knows what he's doing and he likes what he's doing. I just think CM Punk has been, quote-unquote, trained better and knows the, the intangibles in the business that John Cena really doesn't have.
Right, because he was brought up through like WWE, whereas CM Punk, traveled the world and he did the independent thing, so he can also he had different opponents and whatnot.
Exactly. He learned the ropes like you're supposed to. You're supposed to go through the indie circuit, and if you're good enough, then you go to WWE. He learned it like you're supposed to, John Cena.
I thought you're just supposed to take roids. I thought you're supposed to just take roids and then go to FCW or OVW back then and debut in the WWE. I mean, you something else.
If you're Bill Goldberg or Rob Terry, you can go to WCW or TNA, respectively. Whichever one is your option at the time.
Who doesn't like them some Rob Terry? Yeah, so that's pretty much all I'm going to comment on the CM Punk and Heyman thing right now, I can't really see it being bad. I can see it not being especially good, but I think it'll work out. And yes, he's going to be facing The Rock at the Royal Rumble. And speculation is we're going to have Brock versus Rock at WrestleMania. I hope not, just because, I mean, both neither one's going to wrestle past WrestleMania. They're just, spotlight hogs. And as much as I like The Rock and Brock, you don't want to put them in a main event fighting over a title, because then it makes it look like junk, because as soon as those two guys leave, they'll just drop it. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, if it has taught us one thing, if The Rock has taught us one thing in the past, let's say 3 years, is that Undertaker is not that bad. When you compare it to The Rock, at least Undertaker tries, and at least Undertaker stays with the business. He might only wrestle once a year, but at least he's still there.
Yes, but Rock is there in spirit and such. I see. I wonder, it would have been interesting to have Bobby Black. It would have been interesting to have Bobby Black on today, so he could try to do his usual, hey, I'm going to try to, defend his position on the whole, when Cena was facing Rock, how much he loved Cena. I don't know, it's always interesting how much of a Rock hater he is, but he won't admit it, so.
The enemy of my enemy campaign. That's what it was.
Yes. It was something, all right. Okay, let's see. Anything else going on? I know I haven't been watching this Saturday Morning Slam. I'm guessing it's like Sunday Night Heat, but Saturday morning?
I've heard it was to the, what now I'm now forever going to call the Sandusky demographic. That's what that's what pretty much the show is based on. I mean, isn't all Saturday morning television based on that demographic?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's for the young children. Or looks like it is mostly a kind of, hey, we couldn't fit these matches on a house show schedule or a Raw, or just gonna put them on this show on Saturday.
Well, I mean, they tape all those house show matches anyway. I mean, if you have a good match, you might as well use it.
Yeah, you might as well put them somewhere, I guess. Yeah, sure.
I mean, put them on
WWE needs the
WWE.com.
second show. Why does WWE need all these different shows? It's like, I mean, isn't 3 hours of Raw and 2 hours of SmackDown enough?
I mean, that's what I don't get, because they have all these matches and they do all these shows, but it's like if you have a good match at a house show, I would think that's where most of the halfway decent matches go, because they have a decent amount of time to do them. You don't really have a time. I mean, you have a time limit, but I mean that's negotiable. I mean, when you're on USA Network, you got, what is it, 3 hours now, which is just ridiculous.
Mhm.
I mean, it's amazing how they can fill in a show for 3 hours.
And then you get about 30 minutes of wrestling, 35. It depends show to show, but when you take out commercials, every skit, every promo, you get about 30 minutes. And that's not good wrestling necessarily. That's just 30 minutes of loosely defined wrestling.
Yeah. It's about as vague wrestling, quote unquote, as you can get. But, I mean, it's what they've given us, and it's what we've had to deal with for the past, what seems like forever.
Mhm. Well, I think we've covered some WWE stuff enough. I guess we talk about TNA or other things. Of course, if anyone wants to call in and change the subject, they are welcome to. You can call in 347-237-5088. You can change the topic, of course. Okay, I'm reading right here that TNA, on the TNA side of things, Kurt Angle is upset that CM Punk got number one at the PWI 500. For those unfamiliar, the PWI 500, There's a ranking system from the PWI magazine, kind of a biased magazine. They just praise WWE and kind of hate on TNA, and I don't know. And basically, they rank 500 wrestlers in different promotions, and they have CM Punk as number one. And Kurt Angle is upset by this, but what's his gripe? He thinks he should be number one. He really hasn't wrestled that much in the past year. He's had some good matches, but he's getting up there in age. He hasn't done, CM Punk did a lot of good, what they call mic work and stuff. He was very visible. Plus, he's in the most visible wrestling company in the world, so, of course he's going to be number one. They pretty much rank him according to exposure, not necessarily talent.
Well, I mean, my comment is, what do you expect? I mean, you're in TNA that shoots in Orlando, correct?
Correct.
Orlando every single week. You're not touring. You have a show that's half-assed on the biggest half-assed network there is. Spike Television, I don't even know how they're in business. I mean, what do you expect? You have no exposure. I mean, and when you're trying to go to the Olympics again, which you miserably failed, did he even get to the qualifiers? Did he even get to the trials?
I don't believe he did. I haven't heard anything new.
I mean, he didn't even get to the trials. I mean, at least make it to where you get a chance. I mean, come on. And how old is Kurt Angle? Around? I'm sure you don't exactly know, but.
Well, how old? He's 43, I think. 44, maybe.
Yeah. 43, and you expect to be the number one wrestler in the world. You're insane. You're as they like to say in NFL, you're a washed-up ass-man. No one cares. You need the wrestling industry, but the wrestling industry does not need you. They don't need you.
Right. It's true. I remember when it was a big deal that he went to TNA, but really after his Samoa Joe thing, sure he put on a lot of good matches, but. I don't know, there wasn't anything special, because they were saying, yes, it's going to be like Hulk Hogan going to WCW. That's what they were saying when Kurt Angle first jumped ship, and it was like, no, I don't know who's to blame on that, but I don't think anyone, for one wrestler to leave a company and go to another, you're not going to have some, huge surge of fans, we're just going to watch TNA now because Kurt Angle went there. I don't even think if Cena went to TNA, it would really help TNA that much. Because WWE would just produce or use, Orton or somebody else, and people would probably forget about Cena. So,
I mean, the only thing that can really, quote unquote, help TNA is TNA getting better. Everybody knows TNA is there. They have the what is it? They have they've marketed it and they have the exposure. It just is so awful that people don't want to watch it. I mean,
well, they have been getting better.
I mean, granted, I am definitely not the best TNA expert there is, but, I mean, trying to watch TNA is somewhat painful to me. I mean, it really is. I mean, boy, is it the best show on earth, but at least it'll keep me halfway entertained.
Hold on. We had a caller. I've been neglecting my duties as call screener / phone operator. Caller, you are on the air.
Finally, the Black has come back to Top Rope TV. Unfortunately, this is
there goes our rating. Finally, someone will agree with me on something. Bobby will agree that he's got better.
So, Bobby, you called in for?
I just wanted to say that TNA is awesome, and that I like TNA because they put a ROH guy with the title. And I know WWE did that with Daniel Bryan, but I really like the fact that the TNA title is now on Austin Aries because it's like, you know, they're showing a nod to the indie scene.
I have one question for you, Bobby.
My name's not Bobby. My name is Bubby.
Did Grim take over your body and kill you?
Maybe.
I thought so.
I cannot think.
Well, Bobby, I have one question for you. All right, one question, and that is 3 words or less. What are your thoughts on The Rock?
Wait, what?
3 words or less. What are your thoughts on The Rock? Because we were talking about The Rock and Brock Lesnar earlier, and you unfortunately were not there to see this wonderful program. So we want
you want
3 words.
3 words.
3 words or less. Thoughts on The Rock?
On The Rock. Well, I have 2 statements that consist of 3 words. Can I use that? Like, they're 2 different statements that describe The Rock. All right.
Yes.
Where's my check? And he sold out.
Judges, is that an acceptable answer? Yeah. Okay. All right. That's an acceptable answer. We also would have accepted he sucks ass or Fruity Pebbles. But
I mean, if you guys, everybody pretty much knows my, everyone pretty much knows my opinion on the whole, you know, Rock thing. I mean, I've never made it I've never hidden the fact that I'm not a fan of The Rock as a wrestler. I'm not a fan of The Rock coming back, you know, 3 times in a year and getting a main event spot at WrestleMania. So.
Yeah, I kind of have a problem with that. But The Rock has taught us one thing, as I told Block, and that is we appreciate The Undertaker just a bit more.
Even though he can barely walk.
But how come you guys love Jerry Lawler and he only wrestles 1 time a year? And he's just because he commentates every week, but that doesn't count. I mean, as far as a wrestler, what does he do besides get beat up?
Are you saying I love Jerry Lawler?
No, I didn't say anything about Jerry Lawler.
I was talking to Block.
Oh, anyway, since that question was clearly too much for your feeble intellect, Bobby, I'm sure you'll agree that TNA has gotten better. Because Jericho thinks it's painful to watch.
I would agree that it's gotten better. However, I would not disagree that it's painful to watch sometimes.
I mean, if I can give a if I can give a comparison to TNA, it would be like giving birth to a 2-hour, awfully cameraed, and they had some of the worst producers and awful writing. It's like giving to a 2-hour long 0.5 Nielsen rating baby every single week.
But to be fair, half their roster is high or on drugs. So even if they give them a good script, you know, if you give a script to RVD or Jeff Hardy, you know they're going to mess it up.
I think the problem with TNA is that they're scripting it too much nowadays. Like, back in the day, it used to, like, back in 2005, 2006, it was far less, I mean, even AJ Styles has said it was far less scripted, you know, early on. You know, and Samoa Joe's actually said the same thing. I think one of the reasons why Samoa Joe's not featured as prominently as he was, is because they script him too much, and Samoa Joe doesn't probably do very well with scripting. He probably just goes off the cuff, kind of like Macho Man. Macho Man was really good off the cuff. He sometimes said some crazy things, I'll admit it, but I think he got his point across really well.
Well, I mean, you can't top the Ultimate Warrior on the fly and off the top. You can't top the Ultimate Warrior. But Macho Man comes a good second.
Yeah, no, you're right. The Ultimate Warrior is the ultimate off-the-cuff guy because he was, like, always stoned or high or on speed or something.
They need to put the Ultimate Warrior and Booker T on the announce team.
Oh, my gosh.
You'll be like, am I watching wrestling? What is going? They aren't talking about the match at all.
But anyway, I don't want to infringe on your guys' or on Jericho's co-hosting. I just figured I had a moment, so I would call in and bug you guys and give you my lame opinion on TNA.
Well,
unless you guys have some more questions for me.
I do have a question, actually. How's Mom doing?
She's good. She's laying here right next to me, actually.
Really?
You know, the only problem is. Oh, by the way, I made a kind of an announcement, but my channel got flagged because of the worst matches in history.
What?
Yeah, well, it wasn't the worst matches in history. It was the Kick My Ass Club, the one with Vince McMahon and Hogan.
That was the best one. That was the best one.
They removed it, so it's permanently gone.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know, like, I'm debating now if I should, you know, put all of my videos on the site exclusively, you know, and just do YouTube updates and tell people where to go for them, or what? So, because I don't want to lose my channel.
People don't like clicking links.
I know, that's the problem. You got all these lazy bums who won't click a freaking link. But at the same time, I don't want to lose my channel because of WWE being gay, which I still don't understand how it's copyright infringement. That's what we should talk about, copyright infringement.
Exactly. And that's not the first time they did something. Remember our Rob Terry apron? TNA or
yeah,
WWE?
Seriously, they did. They took our TNA took our Rob Terry apron down.
They took a Rob Terry apron down?
Yeah.
It's true. They're out to get us. They know we're a threat.
Well, I mean, they also took our what's it called, our whole entire, I can't even be called Jericho-holic. I have to be called
that's right.
Jericho.
I have the hardest time with your merchandise because Jericho-holic, Jericho, Y2J, all that stuff is like WWE patented.
Well, the thing that I have a problem with is why is Jericho copyrighted? If WWE really doesn't even own the copyright. If anything, Chris Jericho got his name from the Walls of Jericho. So every time he does his finisher move, WWE should have to pay royalties to Jesus because his entire name is coming from the Bible. So you should just look. They should have to pay royalties every time a man is introduced. They should have to pay royalties to whoever copyrighted the Bible, or just sacrifice a $100 bill to the gods, because Vince McMahon should be paying royalties to Jesus.
No, I think that's why the match back in '96, Shawn Michaels and God versus Vince and Shane, was because they were fighting over the copyright of Jericho.
They were fighting over the S. Yeah.
You just put the J backwards, and then that would alleviate the copyright concerns, right?
I have no idea. I'm not. Mr. Lawyer here.
Really? Yeah.
Why don't you educate us on copyright law, there, sir?
Look. You can't win these situations. Look, I either have to be a lawyer or a co-owner of a wrestling website. I can't do both because they conflict with each other. Have you not seen the material on our site? We sometimes go against the edge of copyright limitations.
Well, if I am correct, if I can remember, I believe you are allowed to commentate over a video, and it is not copyright because you are parodying and commentating on it. So you're creating your own information, correct? That's not copyright.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's not copyright if I'm not mistaken.
You're not profiting from it, and you're not editing it in any way. You're just commentating on it.
Yeah,
well,
that doesn't matter to Vince.
Listen, they probably want to say we're profiting because we're getting views or something. You're profiting by exposure or something.
Well, I'm not even a what's it called?
Partner.
A partner. So I mean, yeah.
You could fight it.
I probably could, but at the same time, it's kind of like I may just upload it on the site as an exclusive. Because I still have or do you have the footage? I think that's one that you did, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. I probably
is that
deleted it.
Is that one that was on the Wrestling Revolution channel that you know of?
Yeah, it should be on there. They couldn't take it down from both channels, right? I don't know. If they don't delete the MVP Val Venus Titantron, they'll not delete anything, because that clearly was offensive on many levels. Well, we only have 4 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen, and sure, for the last 8 minutes we were talking more amongst ourselves, but that is okay, because if you call in, you can also talk to us and jibber-jabber on about different things.
Screw wrestling.
So, talk about the upcoming World's Worst Matches volume, Bobby or Jericho?
Well, I mean, the next one that will probably get my channel shut down is because people at ROH have nothing else better to do than go around on YouTube, is going to be our first ROH match. That was one of the worst matches in history. It'll be two people that I don't remember their name and Jeff Hardy. And Jeff Hardy is stoned off his rear end. It's apparent in this video. So everyone needs to tune in for Worst Matches in History Volume 7, our first ROH review.
And, of course, all the other volumes you can find on WrestlingRevolution.com. The links are all to the videos. You can just click on that match, and you will watch the video. And they're also, of course, on the YouTube pages, but perhaps not for long, considering WH.
Well, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to download all those just in case if my channel gets shut down, and then I'll just upload them as an exclusive onto the site. Because I want to improve the site.
I love it. Jericho, I'd like to thank you for stepping in as co-host, because apparently Bobby Black had better things to do, like, I don't know, get Rob Terry's autograph.
So true. So true. I think he's left already. I think he said screw us and left.
Do you want to close us out?
Well, I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Motorboating.
I'm going to Hell in a Cell at the pay-per-view, and hopefully I'll get some good wrestling.
Hey, if you see Ricardo Rodriguez there, remember to remind him.
I will. I will.
Say, Bobby Black's coming to get you.
This has been Pillar to Post with your host, The Block. Your Jericho-holic, and the co-host that called in that's normally the co-host, Bobby Black. Thank you all, and don't forget to visit WrestlingRevolution.com.